Well, good afternoon, everyone around the world here from the 18th annual CMAS Underwater Hockey World Championships. It's game day. The finals coming up shortly. We have here in Eger, Hungary, the anticipated matches, and it's going to be just an electrifying segment. So we're just going to turn it over now, going courtside to our reporter on the scene, Adrian Battersby, with one of the coaches. And here he is. Adrian, take it away.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And with me, I've got the GB coach. Tell us your name, where you're from.
I'm Jacqueline Heindijk. I'm from the Netherlands, and I coach the GB Ladies Elite.
GB Ladies Elite. That's a pretty good coaching job to have. The GB girls have looked very good all week. You just tell me how the week's gone from your point of view.
Well, I think we've had a really good go so far. It's obviously still about improving every game, and I hope the girls bring it out all on the floor today.
Yeah. You only conceded a few goals in the round robins. You won very heavily to 0 in the quarter-final. And then suddenly, against Australia, you were behind. First time in the tournament you've been behind. You know, did that give you a little feeling of nervousness that suddenly here's a team that's challenging you?
Obviously, it's not what you want. You hope you go as easy as in the other games. On the other hand, when we got the goal against, we really picked it up. So from a coaching perspective, I was quite happy with it, and it made us really push ourselves. That's something we need today as well, so I'm quite happy with that.
Just thinking about that semi-final match, we talked about it just a minute ago. That third goal, I think, was as good as any goal I've seen underwater. It was absolute poetry in motion. From a coach's point of view, I'm sure you watched the DVD last night and watched the action. How beautiful was that manoeuvre, and how much work does that take to get the girls doing those sort of manoeuvres?
Yeah, I think it's like on those moments where you play a semi-final against Australia and you're 2-1 down. It's about getting that other goal in the 2-2, and then I think the girls gave the punch to the Australians at the 3-2 game, and it was the turning point of the game. And obviously it's like parts of it are studied, but it has to come together in that game, and it did for us. Yeah.
Now here you are, a world final. GB looking to retain their world championship. What are your thoughts about the New Zealand team? They're also unbeaten here this week.
Yeah, they've looked really solid as a team. They've shown some great work on the walls, but also in the middle of the field. And it's going to be exciting. Finals sort of have their own rules, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. You can let us into a little secret. You've only got the whole world of underwater hockey watching, and maybe everybody else later on replays. Have you done a little bit of homework against New Zealand here? Watched their semis and quarters? Yeah,
obviously we have been watching all their games, and it's really good to watch from these stands as well, because they're really high up, so you can watch into the water. But I'm sure they've done the same thing for us, and these girls have played them a few finals now, so they know each other. Yeah. They know each other,
and in a way, I suppose you must be quite happy that they had a tough match as well as you in the semi. So both teams, do you feel there's any tiredness in the girls, or do you feel that they're recovering day upon day?
These girls have trained so hard. They're ready for a game a day. That's not a problem. It's more a mental question on how ready are you and how much you want it. Yeah. So.
Are you confident?
I'm confident, yeah.
Well, good luck, and good luck in the final. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for that, Adrian. And we're going to be bringing to you live the matches coming up shortly here, the Elite Finals. It's going to be one heck of a match with the best teams in the world. We've got people from around the world tuning in with us. It's going to be an exciting match. So stay tuned here to 24/7 for live action coming up shortly with the Elite Finals here from the 18th Annual CMAS Underwater Hockey World Championships. We'll be right back with you.
Okay, here I've got Andrew Carr, the coach for the New Zealand team. And Andrew, you must be pretty confident going into this match. The girls undefeated all the way through the week.
We're anxious. Confidence, no. We just hope to perform well. But these sort of games, finals like a rugby or a football World Cup, it's not really the best hockey we're going to see. It's going to be nitty-gritty stuff, and both teams just be sweating it out. So confident, hopeful. Yeah, that's all right.
You started off the week brilliantly, just as GB did. Didn't concede many goals in the round robin play. And then in your quarterfinal, very comfortable victory. And then the semi-final came. Tell us a little bit about that match yesterday, 5-4.
Well, there were a few contentious calls refereeing-wise we weren't happy about. But as I mentioned a moment ago, it's finals hockey, and you're not going to see sparkling champagne sport here today. That's the pity of it. The best hockey is we will have seen in a round robin. And it depends who you play against. Not all the teams here have a a realistic structure to their play, so you don't actually see underwater hockey played. Often it's just thuggery on the walls. I mean, the men's final later, it'll just be pure brutality. Hopefully the women, will have a wee bit more silky skill to it, but let's not rely on it.
I love your realistic approach. It's going to just be a fight in the water, and maybe a bit of hockey will break out now and then, but generally it's going to be a hard scuffle. Do you think that's going to be like that with the girls? There's 20 physical girls, really fit, really athletic, and it is going to be a bit of a fight in the middle of a pitch.
Yeah, now and again you might see a good pass might go, or someone might be a half second too late, a half second too soon, and someone will race off and get a runaway goal, and the crowd will go berserk. But otherwise, here it's just going to be pretty dogged stuff and lots of refereeing calls. Which, hopefully not.
Well, you must have done some work on the GB and seen like the GB team. And I know the GB girls. The coach has been looking at the way you play. Do you look? You raise your eyebrows. Maybe there's a trick you missed here. But I presume you've been looking at a couple of the GB matches and just seeing what they're doing underwater.
I had a bit of a sneak look for about 30 seconds during our quarterfinal game. Once we had that under control. And we watched the semi between Australia and GB yesterday, and that's all we've looked at. We've seen them in previous world champs, and we're reasonably confident we know what to expect, and hopefully we can impose our game plan on the situation, and what they're trying to do won't be an issue for us.
Okay. Just finally, from a general New Zealand perspective, I know you've got to get back to your team. For the Kiwis, you've got 6 out of the 8 finals. What have you been doing down there?
Well, we didn't send 2 to the other 2.
Really?
We only sent 6 teams.
100% success rate. Looking good, but of course you've got to win the finals as well.
Yeah, we've won 3 out of 4 so far. It's just us and the guys to finish it off. No, we just have a good development program for our youngsters. Most of the people in the sport in New Zealand are probably under the age of 18 or 20. They're all at high school. Yeah. So we've got the numbers there, so we've got quite a base to select from. Well, assuming they all stick with it, but what kids are like, they finish school, they get a job or a car and start to drink, and it's all over.
Well, I love your laid-back attitude, Andrew, and good luck in this final. It's going to be a great match. Looking forward to it.
Cheers. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. Well, here we are as we are awaiting the start of this match. I think they're going to be putting the teams up shortly. We're still a little while to go. There's still 12 minutes to go on the countdown clock. Fascinating interviews there. And I know Darryl wouldn't have been able to hear them up in the desk here. He doesn't have any headphones on, but the attitude of the 2 different coaches was quite amazing. The British coach was very professional, very focused. She's done a lot of homework on the opposing team. And the New Zealand coach said, well, I took 30 seconds of them and just watched a little bit here and there, but I'm not really, And his attitude was, it's going to just be a fight underwater. There's 20 fit athletes who are extremely fit. They're just going to have a big, massive fist fight, and a bit of hockey's going to break out from here and there. Like, you've been involved in matches like this, and you've been watching a lot of them. Is that pretty much how you find that the elite finals can go sometimes?
It depends on the teams, but you have to remember these 2 teams have been at the world champion level many times before. In fact, in 2011, GB had actually won the world championships in Portugal. New Zealand, again, has been a dominant force for many years in many different divisions here at the world championships. So we expect to see, I think, some really fast-paced hockey here. It's going to be interesting to see the 2 different types of strategies. The British have a new coach this year for their women's elite team, as well as the New Zealand team. So it'll be interesting to see how their formations and their strategies come out through the comp, and we'll let them play some hockey and just kind of go from there.
Well, this is Great Britain versus New Zealand. It's the women's final for the World Championship. Great Britain, the defending champions and undefeated, up against New Zealand, who were also undefeated here. In fact, some interesting stats. You know that I like looking up the stats, Darryl. Basically, the stats coming into the round-robin group. Great Britain only conceded 3 goals in their first 7 matches. They scored 0 in the quarterfinals. And then, of course, it was a 4-2 semi-final win. Looking at the New Zealand side, only conceded 2 in the 7. Didn't concede a goal in their quarterfinal, but then they had an incredible 5-4 win over South Africa. So both teams have had tough semi-finals, Great Britain were 2-1 behind to the Australians, and I don't know if you saw it, Davil, but there was one of the goals of the tournament that Great Britain scored, and I talked to Jacqueline about it, and she just said it was lovely to see it all come together, but it was an absolutely beautiful flowing move down the left-hand side, flicked it inside to a GB supporter, who then immediately flicked it further inside, and she had the pace to put it straight on goal, and the Aussies just couldn't live with that move.
Yeah, it's quite incredible to see some of these players do that. They'll be going all the way at full speed down the court on one direction. They'll pull a little quick move, they'll pull back, shoot it across one player, and then at the same time, as soon as that player gets it, they immediately shoot across to the far player on the outside, and the game changes direction so quickly, and that's how they're able to do that. Also, one other interesting point here, these two teams are rivals, if you will, from the last World Championships. The Great Britain and New Zealand teams did have quite a battle in the round robins in Portugal, and New Zealand was the last team to beat Great Britain in Portugal. So these two teams are ready to go at it again, and we'll see how things go for this comp.
Certainly are. It's going to be a big match. It's going to be a big match, this one. Both teams had scares in their semi-finals, although the New Zealand coach, Andrew Carr, was quite clear to say that he wasn't too happy with some of the refereeing decisions in that match, and they evened it out a little bit. As a referee yourself, I don't expect you to comment, Davil, although I know you'd probably want to. And we're getting quite an audience built up here. One of the things which is quite phenomenal is we're getting over 15,000 people watching us every day. The stats are just incredible.
Yeah, for sure. The world hockey community has grown over the years, and we just continue to grow the sport as best we can. This year we're looking at 15 to 16 countries here at the World Championships. It's the largest world competition we've had in the history of our sport. 16 countries from around the world, almost 80 teams in attendance here. And all different divisions. We had from U19s, U23s, male and female, again, masters and elites teams. So with all the divisions here and the number of athletes, I think we had around 750 athletes in total. So it's been fantastic, and we're really looking forward to rounding out this competition. We've seen some excellent hockey over the past week, and it's all come down to this final day with the electrifying atmosphere here, and the teams that are about to play in these last couple of final matches. So stay tuned here on 24/7. We'll be right back with you shortly. We'll take a quick break, and we will get ready for the two matches coming up. They'll be doing the marching of the athletes, followed by the anthems for each of the teams, and then we'll get the games underway. So stay tuned here on 24/7 Live.
So here's the team list, and you can hear our sexy Adrian. It was more than one Adrian on a microphone at this event. Unfortunately, I'm not the sexy one. There's the New Zealand at 10. So Leah Chamberlain and Angela Whiteman. If I had a pen, I would cross these names out. Thank you very much, Nathan. Nathan's here, who did a sterling job on commentary on Court 2. And it was Kim Mokes and Georgie Lamble who are not playing for Great Britain. So we don't seem to have a camera operator for this match for some reason. I don't know why. welcome. The officials are introduced. Tristan Reynard shaking all the hands. There's some pretty fit girls in these teams, aren't they? They've been spending a bit of time in the gym lately.
Oh, for sure. They've definitely been doing their workouts and been packing on the muscle for this big event.
Okay, so here we go. The New Zealand team jumping into the water. We're getting ready for the Women's Elite Final. Both teams undefeated. And this should be an absolutely cracking match. This should be a really fascinating match here, and we're going to do a little interesting split here, because me and Davil will just clash all the time because we're the same style of commentator. So for the first half, you're going to hear Davil Brambilla talking through the play-by-play, and then myself will take you for the second half, and then we'll toss a coin to see what happens in extra time. But Davil, over to you.
All right, thanks, Adrian. So we're going to be getting underway here shortly with Great Britain and New Zealand in this Women's Elite Final. New Zealand seeking a little bit of a revenge after that last World Championships in Portugal in 2011. They were defeated by Great Britain, and Great Britain, of course, took the gold medal in Portugal. So it's, again, another matchup between these two excellent teams. There are no strangers to this rivalry, and it's going to be very interesting to see a little bit of a different team with different players, a few new faces to both teams. But new coaches as well, and we'll see what kind of strategy and styles come out for this match. So the referees are just getting ready and set underway here. You can hear the electrifying crowd here cheering these two incredible teams on, and I expect we're going to have one heck of a matchup here this afternoon. We're just going to take a moment here as they get the countdown clock ready to go. We have about 30 seconds left to get the play started. You can see the supporters there, our fans in the stands, as we say, and they are going absolutely crazy. Everybody here from all the nations that have been here at the comp this past week, here to cheer on these fantastic athletes. So 10 seconds to go. And here comes the gold medal final for this Women's Elite World Championship of 2013. And there's the opening face-off. New Zealand and Great Britain getting to the puck at the same time, and they break the puck out to the outside wall. Now Kiwis are it's Great Britain trying to push the puck into the New Zealand end, but New Zealand quickly comes back and pushing hard down the middle on the bottom. It's a quick initial break by New Zealand now, coming all the way into Great Britain's zone. They push them back hard to the 5-meter line, but GB does a great job pushing them back to the outside. Now they come across court, New Zealand on the puck early, holding GB off from getting out of their zone. Now a big flick in from New Zealand. They're trying to charge the goal. Great job by the defender on Great Britain. They swing the puck out to the outside wall again. Both teams down on the bottom. Great Britain coming in strong on the defense from behind. And there's a nice breakout by Great Britain. Here they go. You can see them charging up the wall deep into the New Zealand end now. New Zealand trying to cycle back their defenders. They do a good job and pick that puck up, but here comes GB off the wall. They're charging for the goal. New Zealand's trying to get down and stop that charge, but GB continues to press hard. Oh, and a great job by the forwards picking that up and just driving it over to the corner. New Zealand will hold the puck in the corner there. Great Britain also in there. See who's going to give up the puck first. Both teams at it. Here comes GB trying to get up the wall. They push it up the wall, but New Zealand manages to get the puck back and switch possession. So New Zealand's trying once again. And there's the first foul signaled on the play. It's a stick infringement call, and it will go against New Zealand. So Great Britain getting the first attack advantage deep in their zone. And here comes the advantage puck, and Great Britain with the big flick in. New Zealand down on the goal, trying to squeeze it out, but Great Britain comes back. They cycle. There's the back pass. Great job by New Zealand defending, but GB is still holding it tight in there. Now they're on the wall. GB trying to pull it off the wall and cycle it back to the middle. New Zealand pressing hard. Here comes a big charge now from GB. They push in on the goal. New Zealand defenders are down. Great Britain trying to squeeze the puck in. Referee was signaling an advantage. And it looks like it's a goal. Wow, so Great Britain with the early strike in the match, and they get the first goal with only 3 minutes into the match. I'm not so sure that New Zealand was expecting that to happen right off the hop. So this is going to turn out to be a very interesting match now. And here we go on the second face-off after that quick goal by Great Britain. Now New Zealand coming right back down the court. They're down to the 5-meter line. They're charging in. They're not going to let GB get that early goal. They're going to continue to press hard now. Great Britain down defending. New Zealand really pounding on the puck on that wall, just keeping them pushed into their corner. There comes that muscle Adrian was talking about earlier that they've been working out in the gym. You can see that. Now New Zealand strips the puck. They throw it back in for the big charge. Here they come. 2 attackers down. GB trying to defend. Here's the push from New Zealand. GB manages to get the flick out. Good job by the forwards back picking. And they continue to drive it in. Here's New Zealand along the back wall. There's the flick. They're charging in on the goal. GB defenders are down in numbers. New Zealand trying to get the puck off the back wall out towards the middle. And it looks like it might have been a goal. Referees are signaling a goal, so New Zealand comes right back and answers after an initial quick goal by Great Britain. Wow, it's going to be a seesaw back and forth match between these teams. Don't you dare step away from your TV sets, because this is going to be one heck of a match, folks. And there's the face-off after the goal. New Zealand just getting to the puck ahead of Great Britain, but Great Britain makes a great big push through the middle there as they manage to strip it off New Zealand's attackers. And they push into the outside wall. Referee signals a foul on the play. It's going to be an advantage puck for New Zealand due to a stick infringement. So GB will get pushed back, and New Zealand will come out from their 5-meter line. New Zealand sets up for the advantage puck. We go underwater, and here comes the initial flick on the outside wall. They play it safe coming out of their zone. GB down on the bottom, but New Zealand pressing right down that wall, not letting GB get it. Oh, and there is a call along the wall. I imagine it's going to be gloving or an obstruction. Yes, it's an obstruction call. And it's actually against GB. So New Zealand now right back into GB territory, and here they come again off the advantage puck. There's the draw. They try to make the flick in. GB down, trying to make the initial stop. New Zealand trying to get through. The puck squirts out to the middle. GB intercepts that. Oh, New Zealand makes a big back pick. And what a push on the goal. They're right on the goal. Can they punch it in? There's a signal on the play at the goal line. No, it is no goal. They signal no goal due to a glove trying to push the puck in the goal on the corner. Well, that was an incredible push right off the side there. They flicked it out on the 45-degree angle right to the center. New Zealand managed to get it over to the goal, but it was defended due to a glove trying to push it in. New Zealand still in control here. GB trying to get New Zealand out of their zone. Here comes New Zealand again. They just continue the pressure. It's still a 1-1 game early in this match. Both teams seesaw battle back and forth. New Zealand still with the pressure cycling in the backs now. Here comes the push. They're down at the 3-meter line, and a referee signals a foul on the play. He's looking for one player, stick infringement. Stick infringement on New Zealand, and caution to New Zealand for the stick infringement. GB will take the advantage puck just shy of center court, and they come out of their end. They get it back out to center court now. GB along the wall trying to punch it through. New Zealand down heavy on the wall, holding that in there. You can see the big kicks coming from both players trying to get the advantage by pushing through, using their legs to dominate and push right through. There they go now on the wall. Looks like a bit of stick infringements on both teams. Referees allow that to continue on. GB manages to pick up the puck again off the New Zealand attackers. Now New Zealand again looking for that flick to the inside. Here it comes. GB reads the play though, intercepts. New Zealand forced to go cross court. Referee sees a foul though. It's an obstruction call against New Zealand, and GB will get a breather. So good job by the GB defense, holding New Zealand at bay, not allowing them to get into their zone. GB takes the puck and they try to come out of their zone. Nice flick through the middle. New Zealand tries to clog that up, but GB continues with the pressure. Here they come now. New Zealand defenders are facing their own goal. Never a good situation as that happens. GB continuing the push down to the goal line. There's the strip of the puck. They look for the flick back to the middle. GB pushing, another flick towards the goal. Everybody trying to get down. There's a signal at the goal. Is it in? No goal. The goal is waved off. So we've had one goal waved off on each side now. It was a glove again, this time by GB on New Zealand's goal. And it's still a 1-1 game here with 6 minutes left in this first half of the match. So here we go underwater, and we're back over on the side wall as it gets pushed there by the GB attackers. New Zealand down, holding it safe on the outside wall about the 5-meter line, and they're holding it tight there. And there is another signal for a foul on the play. They're signaling the New Zealand player number 7, obstruction. Oh, and a 2-minute penalty to New Zealand. That is going to hurt early in this match. Let's see if New Zealand has the strength to hold off the strong GB attack with a man down. GB gets the first opportunity with a 6-on-5 situation. Here comes GB now right off that advantage puck. They push hard right away towards the goal. New Zealand all drops down and they get it pushed back out to the wall and the corner. Now GB strips the puck off. Here comes the push again towards the goal. New Zealand cycles down and they manage to get it back and push it back out to the corner. GB now cycling in, trying to get the puck back over to the middle of the pool. New Zealand maintains possession. Neither team wanting to give up possession here deep in New Zealand's zone. And it looks like it's a bit of a chess match along the wall there, trying to figure out who is going to be able to grab the puck and make the run for it one way or the other. Now New Zealand attempts to get it back out of the zone, but GB intercepts. Here's the flick in. GB's down. New Zealand tries to get down on the backs. So GB forward on the other side of the New Zealand defender. Not quite able to pick the puck. Oh, and a great stop by the New Zealand defender as they punch the puck off the GB stick. And here they're still making a push on the goal. GB trying to get it through, but it's stripped off by the New Zealand attacker. What an amazing save. GB now regains possession. Both teams now holding it on the wall. There comes 2 GB attackers in. New Zealand brings back with their numbers though and hold it on the bottom. Now New Zealand trying to get something going out of their end. Still a 6-on-5 situation for GB. GB has not been able to score yet, even though they have the man advantage. Great job on the New Zealand defense late in this first half, so 4 minutes to go. Now here comes a GB push up the middle. Oh, but there's a signal by the referee on the call. And lucky for New Zealand, it's a stick infringement call against GB. So that'll give them a bit of a break. And it looks like the New Zealand penalized player is getting ready to get back into the water for the match. So New Zealand comes out with the puck off the face-off. There was a big flick. It looks like it might have hit an arm there. Dropped down. Play continues on, though, along the wall. And now the New Zealand player is back on the bottom with all 6 players back in play again. There we go, and New Zealand's pinching back into the far end of GB now, right back into GB's corner. So now with the full team of 6 back in the water, New Zealand tries to regain the strength that they had early after they scored that tying goal. GB, though, making a great push out of their end. New Zealand facing backwards again, manages to strip the puck, but there's a foul on the play. It's a stick infringement call against GB, and New Zealand will get the puck back now. What an incredible match so far. Back and forth we go. And it looks like with that, GB decides they're going to call a timeout with about 3 minutes left to play in this first half. So both coaches are going to talk here for a moment with their teams and try and do things and see what the strategy is.
Well, this has been quite an amazing first half, hasn't it? Two attacks, serious attacks, both scoring goals. Things we noticed in the semi-finals, Australia had serious attacks and GB weren't able to hold the Australians at bay. New Zealand had that same issue. So, we could see a high-scoring game here. New Zealand have been put under some serious pressure there by GB, managed just to hold them off, but it looked GB were very close to getting a second goal there, weren't they?
Yeah, both of them, they both had their attack opportunities. They both scored one goal, and they both had one goal pulled back from each side. So it's a pretty even match. I'd be very surprised if we see a high-scoring match, but I think it's going to be a very close match based on what we've seen in this first half so far, unless one team figures out a way to run away with this. And after the timeout, we're back at the action with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in this first half. Here we go, New Zealand on the attack right away. GB does a good job pushing them out to the corner. New Zealand tries to bring it out of the corner along that back wall. Always difficult with defenders down along the wall. But they are still trying to get it down that wall. They're trying to punch through. GB trying to hold off the New Zealand attack. But here comes a call against New Zealand number 5. New Zealand number 5, that's Ellie Hawking. She's now being sent to the box. And a referee has called a timeout. I think they're just going to reconfirm what the call is. One referee may have been playing the advantage on that. So the referees are going to discuss on the side. You can see some of our supporters here from Great Britain and New Zealand alike. We're all friends in the stands, at least for the initial part of the match. And the water referee is just discussing with the chief referee about what was seen. And it appeared that one ref was playing an advantage situation. They had seen one foul occur. Another referee was calling a foul for the other direction, I believe. But they have still sent the New Zealand player out, remaining in the box temporarily. We'll see if that penalty holds or if they're going to overturn that and put her back in the water. So the discussions continue. The New Zealand players, the captain or vice captain has swam over to see if they can find out what's going on near the referees, just trying to get the word. So they've overturned the penalty. So New Zealand does not lose the player. That was a big turn of events. And it looks like it's going to be a 6-on-6 situation. So we're back at the action once again. And here we go. So GB trying to come out of their zone after that overturned penalty, and we're still 6-on-6 hockey here. Immediately they go back out to the outside wall. GB making the big push now. New Zealand stripped the puck off them though. Oh, here comes a push through the middle. GB gets the better of it though and does a great job swinging it back to the outside. Now both teams at center court with just under 2 minutes left in the first period. New Zealand now facing backwards as GB trying to get it, but the forward from New Zealand comes in. Now a great push off the wall by GB, trying to drive it, and a call by the referee. Looks like there was a foul on the play, a gloving call against GB, so New Zealand will get the advantage puck once again. 1.5 minutes left to go in this first period. And here they go. New Zealand makes the big flick. They got it through the initial forward line of the Brits. And here they come. They're trying to do the push on. Great Britain down all the defenders. And it looked like there was a call against New Zealand here. It was a stick infringement, and it's a caution against New Zealand. And that'll be a breath of relief there for GB as they will get the advantage puck coming out of their zone, deep in their zone on the 5-meter line. So GB takes the puck, and they start to swim out to the outside. They play it safe and go quickly to the outside wall. We see 3 GB attackers down, or defenders down, and New Zealand equaling them on the bottom with numbers. Usually it's a battle of numbers between these two teams, and the more players you have on the bottom is usually what results at the end of the match in winning. But both teams looking pretty even so far. As I mentioned, it's like a chess game right now between these two teams in the match. So a stick infringement now called against GB with only 17 seconds left right now in this first half. And they set up for one last push here from New Zealand. They got to do it quick. They flick out to the middle. Unfortunately, the New Zealand did not read that play very well, and the GB team broke that up. Now the GB making a last-ditch attack here before the halftime. Don't quite get it down, and it finishes up at center court. So that'll be the first half, and what an amazing first half, and I'm going to turn it over to Adrian to continue.
Well, Davyl's voice is breaking here, but Davyl, don't just go away right yet. Just give me a thought from a referee's point of view. Tell me, what do you think was going on there? There was a very solid call that you called under the water. Then the refs had a little chit-chat, so let us into the secret world of refereeing. This dark art of how do they change their decision around.
Well, a lot of times, Adrian, what happens is we have different views because of where we are in the pool. One referee had seen a foul and was probably playing an advantage. The second referee saw something happen after the fact. So one referee who saw something initially was waiting to make their call. The other referee saw something immediately and called. And so it goes back to the first referee who had what we call the advantage. And that's what they were conferring over on the side of the bench about, and that is why the penalty was overturned. It was quite simply the fact that the first referee did not feel that the penalty was deserved because there was a foul that happened before that. And so that's what happened, and the penalty was overturned.
Well, there's the New Zealand team having a good talking to with their coach, Andrew Carr. Referees are there. And so the summary of that first half, GB scored very early on with a strong attack, and you see it's great to have these mobile cameras and really get the sort of faces in the water there as well. The GB girls, they put New Zealand under a fair bit of pressure in that match, in that first half, but New Zealand reacted to it. And first half. There you see Louise Otto scoring after 2:36, but Jessica Lauver equalising for New Zealand with their first attack of the match. So very early on in the match there, both goals were scored. And okay, here we go. No penalties as well. Not a single sin bin. The one that was rescinded because of the puck hitting the stick, actually going up into the face. So not an unsportsmanlike. Clock counting down. 38 seconds to go. So 30 seconds here, a GB team. There we go, great atmosphere there, isn't there? The current world champions, Great Britain, up against New Zealand. This is a really big match. It's the second half of the World Championship final, live here from Eger in Hungary. Who's going to take this one? It's very nip and tuck indeed. GB certainly had a bit of pressure in that first half, but the New Zealand girls held up strong, and the second half starts. 15 minutes now of brutal underwater hockey action. And the GB girl wasn't laying off there, was she? She absolutely piled through 2 New Zealand players. The usual midfield scrap. This is what Andrew was talking about. It's just a great big fight sometimes, and a bit of underwater hockey breaks out now and then. Very realistic attitude he had. These teams are incredibly fit. We'll come to the surface. There's a call, and there's it's going to go GB's way. Stopped by a hand of New Zealand, which isn't allowed in this sport. So free puck to GB. What they can do with this? Move it out to the right, but it's intercepted well there by New Zealand. That was the number 6 for New Zealand, Jessica Lauver, who was the goal scorer. That caught GB on the hop, and New Zealand are starting to swamp the play a little bit here, putting in a big move on the GB team, but the GB girls have got down and responded. New Zealand moving it across to the centre. There's an overlap on the right if the puck can be flicked there, but it's intercepted by GB. New Zealand have got plenty of players down on the floor at the moment. They're putting in a big move on this in this final, and GB go to the corner. Sophia Tapper there moves it up the right hand side. New Zealand swamp in as well from the top, but GB are strong and they're moving it very strongly forward. There's a break on here for GB, and it's the goalkeeper for New Zealand, the fullback, who just pulls up short there. Very strong swimming move from GB. Back to our centre camera. New Zealand coming in on the move now. It's flicked forward, but defended by GB. Very brave manoeuvre there with 2 or 3 New Zealand athletes around you. New Zealand have got a 2-on-1 on the floor. New Zealand pushing down the wall, pushing hard. Big scrap here, but the puck's been pulled out and we're going to be called above surface, and it's been stopped by a hand of New Zealand, and it will be a free to Great Britain. That was a tremendous response from New Zealand there. GB made a flowing move from the back into midfield, and then New Zealand did the same back. Great atmosphere here. Colombians are in party mood. They've won a few matches today as well. It's always nice to see the Colombians partying. We're going to get a call here, and it's the free hand. Zoe Firth goes into the sin bin for a bit of an elbow or a bit of something with the free hand that wasn't permitted, and GB will have another power play. And in the past they've really done well with the power plays. In front of a New Zealand goal, moved out towards the wall though. New Zealand will be comfortable leaving that there. Zoe Firth's got 1 minute. New Zealand captain. In fact, I think that's the first penalty of the match, isn't it? And New Zealand just moving it up that side wall. In fact, moving it up fairly quickly here. Some of the GB girls having to sprint on the surface. That was a fast move from New Zealand up the side wall. This is a good way to count down the penalty. But Great Britain managed to get the puck. Moving it down towards his open side. That's a lovely pass inside. GB are there in numbers, looking for the flick through, but it didn't happen, and GB managed to defend that. Well, that's not a bad way to handle a short-handed situation. But here's a move from GB up the side wall. There's support there from the number 6, Helen Wallace. GB moving in on the New Zealand goal. They've got the overlap. New Zealand have got bodies on the floor, and they managed to hold that one off well. And it's number 4, Georgina Child for New Zealand, who comes away with the puck. Passes it inside to Claire George. Louise Otto there, number 2 for GB, trying to get in on the action, hopefully for a spill. And GB happy to just put it in the open side. There's 3 New Zealanders down. 2 go up for breath. Sabina Correnti there. Stuck in that corner. New Zealand get the puck now and move it up the side wall, and there's an overlap in the middle. Mistake by GB there. There was a miscalculation. They might have to pay for it. Oh, the puck has been flicked out. We're going to see there's a call in the water, and it's going to go GB's way. Well, legal stoppage of the puck there from New Zealand, but GB were caught out there. There was a mistake in defence. You saw that. New Zealand girl looked up, couldn't believe she had the goal in sight. And GB nearly paid for that mistake. Great Britain moving up the open side again. They seem to like moving down this right side. Helen Wallace there battling away. But New Zealand have been very strong in midfield in this second half, and they've managed to cut off GB on every opportunity. They're doing it again. They're getting numbers down. It's a real battle in that midfield, and New Zealand currently dominating this second half. Again, GB have to defend, and they'll defend in the corner happily. This time they'll have to not try and make the mistake they made before. Rotate, and we're going to get called to the surface. And another one that goes the GB way. Illegal stop there. Thank you. Well, this half's flying by. Only 9 minutes to go. A couple of substitutions taking place from New Zealand. There's a lot of work going in on both sides here. Surely they must tire. They've had very tough semi-finals. Both coaches said that the teams had trained hard enough. They shouldn't have any trouble with one a day. And there's an inside pass here for New Zealand if it was on, but it was well blocked there by GB. Good defence. I think that was Louise Otto in there. She stayed in the water for an extra length of time as well, just to cover that. New Zealand have a chance. It's flicked inside. It's a brilliant interception by GB. That was nearly an open goal for New Zealand, and it was down to the last GB defender to stop that. They'll have a little battle on the sidelines. It's certainly been all New Zealand this second half. GB moving along the sideline. Middle camera, please. Moving it down the open side. A real scrap down this open side here. And again, New Zealand, it's a big black wall that GB are bouncing against on the halfway line. They just can't seem to be able to get into the New Zealand half. Here's a strong move though from GB. Helen Wallace pushing towards the goal. GB for the first time seriously are making a move on New Zealand now. There's Katie Firth, number 5 for GB. And Rachel Bell steals the puck and gets it into the corner. Louise Otto there fighting in the corner with Kathleen White of New Zealand. Helen Wallace just waiting for the puck to come out. Well, New Zealand have had their opportunity in the GB third now, and we're going to get a call here. And number 3 holding on to the wall. Thank you very much. I've not seen that symbol very often. So holding on to the wall, not allowed. And GB are going to have a free here, and they're going to move in on the goal. Flick forward. All the bodies are down. There's nobody on the surface. GB have actually got 2 on the surface coming in for a second wave. Here's a chance for GB now. All the New Zealanders have gone up. Where's a puck's in front of goal? Here's a chance for GB. They flicked it in from long distance. It's not given. It's not given. Whoa, that is a big call. That is a big call. An illegal use of a free arm given there. Well, now where was that call coming from? Because that looked like a free goal from long range. Sophia Tapper's going to get 2 minutes as well. So that must have been by the side wall where the puck was put in. That there was a late call on that. And a real bit of luck there for New Zealand. Things going their way at the moment. And now they have the power play, and they're going to push down that side wall. Beautiful pictures. Lovely to see the pools kept a little bit cleaner here. New Zealand looking for the puck to pop out. They've got support there. They've got the power play. 1 minute and 26 seconds. Turning over nicely, playing the rotation. GB will just be happy to leave this in there. We saw extra time is not a problem to these athletes, of course. New Zealand looking to pass the puck inside. A little bit of movement on the puck, but it's gone back to the wall again. Sophia Tapper's gone 1 minute. We've got an advantage call in the water. And which way is this going to go? Going against New Zealand, and we've got a 1 minute in the sin bin for New Zealand player. So we're going to be 5-a-side for a little while. It's been a pretty clean game, actually. No warnings given so far. And we're just going to have the officials just saying who actually did that. It was number 4 for New Zealand, Georgia Child, who's going to take the punishment. Sometimes the officials can't see the numbers under the water, so they ask for a bit of honesty from the team, and the team decide to send their weakest player in. I wouldn't say that Georgia Child is the weakest player, of course. Hope you're enjoying this down under. I think it's 3 or 4 in the morning down there. And hi to the Tower Hotel in Melbourne. Hope Mr. Henderson and his crew are having great fun down there. Probably under the table by now if you've been drinking this late. We're going to have another call here. Legal stoppage of the puck. And an equal call there. So, okay, penalty either way. We're going to have an equal puck. Under the water it goes. 4.5 minutes left. It's been pretty frenetic there, but And here's a move from GB trying to push it down the wall into the corner. Now GB have a power play for about 20 seconds. Georgia Child still in the chair. What can GB do with this power play? Looking to flick this puck out, get some action into the middle of the play. And New Zealand moving it up the wall well. And GB are still in there. This puck, they're just looking for, it's almost like a pinball at times with this puck. Just hoping that it pops out on your side. We're back to level now. Georgia Child is back in the water and it's six aside. 3 minutes 50 to go. GB are singing the England theme. I think Nathan could probably answer this, but it's mainly GB are coming in here. Oh, it looks like it's a goal. It's a goal given. A goal is given to Great Britain. That was a complete shock of a goal. Katie Firth has scored the goal for Great Britain. The puck was on the wall and New Zealand looked in total control of that situation, but it was just like I said earlier, almost like a pinball machine. Sometimes that puck is going to pop out, and it did so, and the GB, Katie Firth, was waiting for it in the middle. And Great Britain have taken a 2-1 lead here with 3 minutes 26 to go. Nathan, I was going to ask you a question. I know you're not on mic, but, well, you can put yourself on mic. There's the New Zealand team. The Great Britain team, are they mainly English-based players? Are there any Scots or Welsh in this team?
Oh, you bet. There's a whole load of Scots in there. The Orkney contingent, we have there Helen Wallace and Katie Firth, who just came in there with that score. Both from there. From Coimbra a couple of years ago, we even had more. We've got Mags Goff, also one of the Scottish contingents. So it's a real broad mix from the UK there.
Great stuff. So it truly is great. But somebody was saying to me it's mainly England, isn't it? But I couldn't answer that question.
You want to be careful with that, Adrian.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Nathan. Well, here we go. 3 minutes 25 to go. And Great Britain have taken the lead. And now, can they defend it? Great Britain coming in with a very strong. They've been very good with their face-offs. They've always seemed to have won them with strong swimming, and the puck's gone through the centre. Here's a chance for Great Britain to add a third. Oh, and the puck's been knocked out to the wall. Great defence from New Zealand. It's do or die time for New Zealand. Another goal for Great Britain, and the world title is theirs. They're pushing hard up the left-hand side still. That was tremendous defence from New Zealand. They really had to get on the line there. Great Britain was looking for the almost the alley 1-2 there, weren't they? One goal straight after another would have just laid New Zealand out for the count. In the corner. And we're going to get a call. Equal puck, gloving, stop the puck, and it's going to be an equal puck, but it's importantly for Great Britain, it's in the New Zealand corner. New Zealand are going to have to try and get this puck up there quickly. There's only 2 minutes, and it's a counting clock, of course. Until we get to 2 minutes, that clock keeps going. Equal puck, up on the far side. Hope you're loving these pictures here in HD on YouTube and watching all the replays. Remember to keep an eye on our Facebook page because we're going to put lots more action up in HD over the next few weeks. So 247.tv on Facebook. Make sure you like us. Here we go with 2 minutes to go. Great Britain tying this puck up in the corner. I think we know what tactics they're doing here. A la Francais. Referee's just pointing at one of the New Zealand players here, I believe. Somebody's coming out. Oh, I think it could be one of the GB. We're just waiting to see who's going to actually come into the water. Somebody's getting 1 minute, and it's one of the New Zealand players. And well, with 1:36 to go. So one of the New Zealand. It's a power play for Great Britain. Back under the water. Here we go. 1:53 left. The clock on our screen is actually wrong at the moment. It's 1:43, so I'm sure they'll correct that in time. And Sabrina Quaranti just gets 1 minute in there, so don't worry that it shows 1:06. That's just our scoreboard people trying to correct the main clock, which is affecting her time as well. So don't worry about that. She's only got about 50 seconds to go and she'll be back in the water. We've got an equalising sin bin here for GB. And that's going to make it a five-a-side out there. Didn't see what that foul was. Another gloving offence, and they decided we're going to get you in the sin bin for that. So New Zealand moving up the wall. Sophie Curden there getting 1 minute. Quaranti is going to be out shortly, and New Zealand moving it strongly up the wall, looking to bring it into corner. Coming down to a minute to go. GB need to defend this strongly. New Zealand have to score to take us into extra time. GB rotating around. Oh, the puck's moving up the wall towards the goal. There's a move here from New Zealand. GB are putting all action in to keep the puck away. Oh, the puck looks as if it might be coming even closer. It's on the edge of the goal. And it's been flicked out to the corner again. One of the GB athletes just got a stick on it. Flicked it, a strong flick into the corner. And New Zealand moving it in again. New Zealand pushing hard. Right on the edge. This could be a goal. Yes, I think the referee's going to give it. Yes, it's a goal for New Zealand. The goal is given with 30 seconds to go. It's an equalising goal for New Zealand. What a move from the corner. They put in the power and the muscle, and Jessica Lauver scores her second goal of the match. What a tremendous move from New Zealand. It was their last move of the match. We're going to have extra time here. And GB don't even bother to contest this face-off. The time will count down. It's extra time in the Women's World Championship final. Well, it's moments like this that, you know, you really love finals. And Daryl, New Zealand had to score with that move. They knew that that was it. And what guts they showed to score a goal there.
I've seen this so many times before, Adrian, and World Championships. Some of the best teams in the world, when they get down, they just get focused. And that's exactly what happened with New Zealand. They were down a penalty situation. They knew it was do or die. They pushed hard. They got it all the way down the court, got their player back in, and they managed to pop in that goal. So with that, I mean, they tied it up late in the game. It's 2-2 now, and it's anybody's match. We're going to go to 2 5-minute periods of overtime. And if it's still tied, we're going to the ever exciting and electrifying sudden death.
Well, the Kiwi flag is flying out there, and too right. They really had to rise to the moment, and they did so absolutely brilliant. Some of the Kiwi teams, the Kiwis have had a fantastic tournament here. They've won 3 out of 4 finals, 2 more finals to come. They only entered 6 teams in the competition. They've all made finals. I'd like to know what they're drinking down there. There's something in the water or something. They've had an extremely good competition here, and it could be 4 out of 5 now. And the GB team, just look at them, body language, look at it. There's slumped shoulders. There's one of the girls just patting on the back saying, come on, fire it up. The GB are on a bit of a low now, aren't they?
Yeah, it's unfortunate when something like that so late in the game happens, just when you think you have it, and all of a sudden the team swings the play around and brings it all the way back. It is a little bit crushing initially, but again, like I said, some of the best teams in the world, they get refocused, and they're going to come back hard out of this half. Both teams are going to try and do their best to take this match on and win it. It's 2 5-minute periods, like I said, and it's anybody's game. It's going to be an incredible finish whichever way it goes. We're looking for some big plays, probably from the GB team, probably from Sophia Tapper as one of the possibilities. Also looking for maybe the New Zealand captain to punch through for her team. So we'll see how things come out in this second half. We've got about 40 seconds left to go in the timeout before the extra time starts.
Well, here's the GB girls. Nice to see Sophia Tapper, the captain, number 3, giving us a little wave. Here we go. This is extra time, and Darryl will take you through the first half.
All right, so both teams are just getting ready, lined up on the wall, about 15 seconds. These teams are ready to go. They are pumped up, and they want this match. It's going to be interesting to see who wants it more, though, in this extra time half. It's like I said, it's anybody's game, and with 2 5-minute periods, it's going to be a tough slug for both of these teams. So here we go, off the face-off in the first extra time of 5 minutes. And GB gets to the puck, tries to punch through right away. They make a good hard check on the Kiwis, and they punch through. New Zealand, though, regaining the puck, and they go to the outside wall right away, just trying to hold off the initial GB attack. Now New Zealand trying to bring it back out to center court, and they do, but GB does a great job stopping that and driving it right back down the wall. Look at the kick going down that wall. They just don't stop kicking. They kept the momentum up, and they keep driving it down there. Now a little bit of ticky-tack on the wall with both teams doing the stick work, but GB manages to hold it. Now, because of the cycle, New Zealand gets an initial flick out, and they start to drive it out of their end. There goes number 9 on New Zealand. Claire George trying to work it up the wall. Unfortunately, there is a call on the play, though. And the referee's looking for a penalty situation here. It's against the Kiwis. It was a stick infringement. And it looks like that was number 5 going out. And that's going to be Ellie Hawking. So here we go, a penalty situation. GB with the extra body in this first overtime period. Can they capitalize on it with the man down? New Zealand gets the draw and does a quick break right out to the far wall and gets it out past center court. GB intercepts though and answers right back, comes back down the court. Now both teams cycling on the bottom. Here comes a GB push. They're coming in numbers strong. New Zealand, great job on the defense though, and they get it back out to the corner to safety. Now we're going to see GB just hang back a little bit and let New Zealand get it out of the corner so they can try and jump on them and punch it right back in through the middle. Here they go, New Zealand trying to just hold them to the outside wall and run down the penalty. Now New Zealand gets it back up to center court. There's a good push by the New Zealand late in this penalty situation here. 3 minutes left to play in the first overtime period. Both teams at center court. Here's a beautiful flick out by the GB defenders out to center court. But a great job by New Zealand shutting that one down before they could make it any further. Now here's a big push by GB. They beat the New Zealand defender. Here comes 2 attackers, 2-on-1. New Zealand down. Oh, what an incredible play by the defender. I can't believe they stopped that. It was a 2-on-1 situation. Somehow managed to come up with the puck. And so New Zealand regains possession, push it out to the outside wall. GB still hard on the press. Here they come again. Here's the flick through. Can they get the better of it? They're trying to get it through. New Zealand comes down. They sweep the puck out again to the outside. An incredible job by the forwards coming into back check and just pulling that puck out and getting it out to safety again. New Zealand's players still in the box with 2 minutes left to play in this first overtime period. Nobody's giving it up early. They're going to continue to battle along that outside wall. New Zealand player just getting ready to come back in, and it's a stick infringement call against Great Britain. So New Zealand gets a very lucky break here coming out of their deep end zone, and the player is going to be right back in here, so they're going to have 6-on-6 hockey again. And we'll see if New Zealand will be recharged after defending that penalty for 2 minutes in overtime. So both teams now back at center court on the far wall. GB trying to get it done, but they can't. New Zealand now making a push down that wall into GB zone. Here they come up the middle. GB shuts that down though before New Zealand can get any further. Now comes back the other way. Oh, there's a big push by New Zealand again. They went for the flick to the far side, GB, but New Zealand intercepted and came right back. 3 attackers down on New Zealand. GB cycling in behind now. Good job by both teams. Oh, there's a big push come from GB along the wall. New Zealand answers back and shuts it down. Both teams back and forth here. What an incredible battle along the wall. And there's a little bit of a hold on the wall by the Great Britain defender. Had one arm locked on the wall. And here we go again. New Zealand comes through again. They make the flick through. GB shuts them out to the outside, though, with 30 seconds left to go in this first overtime period. GB knows the time clock is running down. They're just trying to hold it out to the outside wall and corner now. They want to run down this first half if they can while they're deep in their zone. Now GB tries to come off the wall. New Zealand gets back in while they're still deep in there. Here comes one last big push. GB quickly grabs that puck and just will hold it tight on the wall there, not let New Zealand jump it out. And GB still holding it there. New Zealand trying to make one last push. Not enough time in that first extra time, and that'll be the first half, first period. So a 1 minute break. They'll switch ends and quickly right back at it.
What a first half. What a first half that was. That was only 5 minutes of play. And Well, New Zealand had 2 2-on-1s against them, and there was just one of the New Zealand athletes who just made a most amazing stop, put it out to the wall. Well, incredible defending from New Zealand. They absolutely put it all in. GB put a lot of pressure on. They had a power play in there. They had a 2-minute power play, and now it's down to the second 5 minutes. Only a 1-minute break in between. They've got to get off quickly, the New Zealand team.
You couldn't ask for a better final, Adrian. This is the way.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, well, if this, you know, if you want to say what is underwater hockey all about, this is it. 2 top teams, incredibly strong athletes on each side. And already we've got this little midfield battle going on. GB just defending a little bit here. New Zealand starting to push. There's Katie Firth there. And Kathleen White for New Zealand doing a sterling job there in the centre of it all. In fact, she's done very well. She took on 2 GB players and won that. Pass has gone inside. New Zealand have got people in attack here. They've got the extra man. Can they make it count? New Zealand crowd are getting really behind their team. Puck's flown out though, and there's a second wave, but it's defended beautifully. That's superb defending. That was Mags Goff there doing a great job for Great Britain. Helen Wallace now holding it in the corner. But that was a great opportunity for New Zealand, and it's GB's turn to defend. That's cut out by New Zealand. Here's a chance. Here's a big chance for New Zealand. It's flicked in. Referee's in the way, but it's put out into the corner again, and GB strongly holding that one. New Zealand try and come in on a different angle, put it round the outside. GB are there though. There's obviously a little tactic here. I think Andrew may have been fibbing a little bit. They've obviously seen GB and they're trying to work it down the wall and along the inside. They've scored that way. Here's a open goal. Must be a goal for New Zealand, surely. It looks like it's going to be a goal. It's a goal is given. New Zealand lead 3-2. And a mistake in the GB defence somewhere there. There was a mismatch somewhere.
And Adrian, as I mentioned, I believe that was the skipper coming in to score that goal from New Zealand. We expected big things from her, Zoe Firth. I believe she came in and got that last goal.
Well, what an incredible moment that was. What an amazing performance here from New Zealand. They had the extra man. I think GB made an error in defence somewhere. There was a mismatch happened. Suddenly there were 2 New Zealanders and 1 GB right in front of goal. And New Zealand coming in on the attack again. They could kill it off here. One of the officials are giving a foul and it's gone GB's way. Unsportsmanlike. And it's going to be an unsportsmanship. We've got 2 minutes. There's going to be 2 minutes left on the clock. The clock's counting down. It will stop at 2 minutes. And GB will have a power play for the rest of this match. Here we go. The clock's going. GB already on the attack. Zoe Firth is off now for the rest of this match, unless we go to sudden death. Come on, robot. Let's go. We're on the end camera. And good movement here by New Zealand, pushing it away. But GB have solid to it. GB have got the extra man. There's 1.5 minutes left for the current world champions to try and hold on to their title. Well, they're up against that side wall here, 1 minute 15. New Zealand very happy to tie it up. Great Britain have a little break on down the line, into the corner.
Well, what drama we've got here, but GB have to look and score here. They have to make this into a goal. This is exactly the same situation we had at the end of the second half with New Zealand, and GB have got an opportunity. The puck's flown out. New Zealand are all on the bottom at the moment defending that, and they defended that well, and we've got a call at the surface. No, we haven't. We're still going. It's just everybody having a breather at the same time, and New Zealand take the opportunity to move the puck up the wall. Possibly a mistake there from GB, and it's 37 seconds left to go. Still a power play to the end of the match. GB take the puck and move it inside. They're looking for the moves inside, but New Zealand are strong to it. New Zealand holding that well. Two incredibly strong teams. We've had a great battle here. Now GB moving towards the New Zealand goal. They've got an extra man inside, but they can't find him. It's brilliantly defended by New Zealand. 15 seconds to go. It's all or nothing for the GB and New Zealand teams now. The puck's in front of goal. GB have got to move on. They're pushing hard. They're pushing hard. The puck's been moved to the wall. The counter's going, and New Zealand are world champions. New Zealand have won the match.
Well, Adrian, that was one of the most incredible matches I've seen in a long time here at these World Championships. New Zealand wanted retribution after 2011, where GB took the title from them and were the reigning champions coming into this, and now they're back on top once again.
That is absolutely incredible. Well, Great Britain put in a really powerful display there. That match could have gone either way, but it's New Zealand who showed true class at the end of the match. It was them that came in around the edge. They scored that goal at the end of the second period where they had to score. There was no other option. And then New Zealand scored the winner, and Great Britain, who pushed hard, just couldn't find. Oh, Daryl, look at this. It's a great emotions here, these New Zealand girls. This win means a lot to them. Great pictures here from Andy on our mobile camera. You can see the disappointment on the British faces. What a match.
It was an incredible match, and you know, these girls are just let it hang all out on the line. I mean, these girls have been training for 2 years solid to be the best in the world, and you know what, it could have gone either way. These two teams are the best in the world without a doubt. They've been to so many World Championships before at this level, and we've seen them in these finals, and my hat's off to both of them. It was just fantastic to see this incredible match. Well, there we see, we're just going to go to our overhead cameras here for a bit. You'll see the players are just going over, shaking hands with the referees and thanking them once again for the match and the refereeing. It looked like there was some really good refereeing, some excellent calls going both ways against both teams. It was pretty evenly matched. I'm sure we're going to take a look and see at some point the penalties list, if we can get those up on the screen here shortly. But there we go. If we see that the penalty situation there, we'll see that Great Britain had a couple, and those are the goals scored there. So again, 2 goals by Great Britain, 3 for New Zealand, taking the championship. Not a lot of penalties in the game, but that definitely did make a difference throughout the match. And there we see it. New Zealand actually took a lot more penalties there. You can see they took almost 7 minutes in penalties there, 3 minutes for Great Britain, but yet New Zealand, the stronger of the two teams, managed to have a stronger, solid defense overall, and when it counted, they came back and put in that goal to punch it in and tie up the match, and then of course take it into overtime and win in the final stages of this match. So it was an incredible last push by Great Britain. However, They continued when New Zealand had that last penalty for the last 2 minutes of stop time. They were really pushing hard on New Zealand, drove them all the way down to that corner. You saw them cycling in and continuously trying to get that puck out to the middle, but New Zealand kept shutting them down and managed to continue to work that puck out to the corner, and they just kept cycling that, and Great Britain could not penetrate and make that last goal. They tried so hard, but you know what, again, these two teams are some of the best in the world, and they will be back again in 3 years' time when we go to our next World Championships, and I expect great things from both these teams, the coaches, the captains, and the entire support staff from both of them who have worked hard to get these two fine ladies teams here to the championships at this level. So again, it's been a great matchup. We're going to have the men's elite gold final coming up here shortly. We're just waiting for our roaming reporter here, Adrian Battersby. And he's just come up with the captain, I believe it is Zoe Firth. So we're going to hand it over to Adrian now, and we'll go live with him with the interviews with the captain.
Well, with me I've got Zoe Firth, and Zoe, you must be absolutely thrilled. You've got the world title back.
Yeah, absolutely stoked. I've never had it before, so it's absolutely brilliant. I'm so happy.
Tell us about the match, and tell us about the second goal as well. You know, when you were 2-1 down, you knew you had to score with that move, and how incredible it was that the girls managed to produce a goal.
Yeah, everyone was on the bottom, and it was just amazing. Huge credit to the GB girls. It was a really good game. They should feel proud of how they played, and I'm just so stoked with my girls.
Tell us of your thoughts about the match generally. It looked like a pretty physical encounter down there. There's a lot of very strong girls down there, isn't there?
Yeah, strong and fast, but it was quite clean and open, which is what we like. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was great. Yeah.
And New Zealand in particular. You've won 4 out of 5. You've got the men to come.
Yeah.
You're doing pretty well this tournament.
We are all 6 New Zealand teams in the finals. It's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, we put a lot of work in back home, and huge thanks to all the supporters back home. You guys are amazing. And yeah, we love it.
It's pretty late back home, but I know there's a big New Zealand contingent watching us, you know, the people on Skype and the chat and everything. Just where does this take you now for the future? Because I'm looking around and you all seem pretty young, actually.
Average age is 25. We've got 2 girls on the team who are 19. So, yeah, we've got an awesome base of juniors coming up. It's actually huge thanks to Tristan Reynard, who's done a lot of work back home, set up our schools league, and yeah, a lot of credit goes to him for this win too.
Great stuff. Well, thanks for coming and talking to us, Zoe, and you might have a little tipple tonight maybe to celebrate. I'll see you at the party later. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Thanks.
Well, thanks again, Adrian, for that interview with New Zealand's team captain, Zoe Firth. Talking about the win that they just had over that fine Great Britain team.